Hello everybody, I'm Marc Battle and welcome to the little overview of our day on June 24th, exploring outdoor pedagogy called Into the Wild. This is going to be a lovely time together, folks. We are going to be taking observations or understandings of kids in play, using that information to help define space outdoors for children to be able to take their ideas even further. In the old days, it used to be we'd come in and we'd design space outside and let the kids have at her. But now, what we're asking is how can we use what we know about the kids in our room, what we know about what they're interested in, their curiosities, what they're playing with, and how do we use that to design space for kids? I got into that a long time ago, to be honest with you. I was always intrigued with the ideas that kids had for space. And I'd always try to incorporate their ideas and design the space in collaboration with kids. There were elements in that space that were mine, and there were elements in that space that were theirs. I'll give you a quick little example of how I've manifested this. I was doing some work in Edmonton, and I was doing some work with the Grant MacEwan College and their outdoor play space. I brought a whole bunch of kids together, and I wanted to get their ideas about what they wanted in space. What did they want in an outdoor environment? Because it wasn't going to be for me. I was going to be leaving Edmonton. It'd be left with them. So I wanted to find out what they wanted in space. And they gave me all kinds of ideas, ranging from, I need a platform to get up over this wall. They had this massive wall that blockaded the kids from downtown Edmonton. They wanted to see over that. But the thing that they said that was most intriguing, that has designed a lot of the playground design ideas, or influenced a lot of the playground design ideas that I have today, was this one idea. They told me they wanted a path that no adult can go down. I thought that was powerful. I had never thought of that. Playground designers had never thought of that. So what did we do? We built in space, did plantings where kids had a little spot between the plantings and the wall to get away from everything. I took that idea and utilized it for a playground design in Winnipeg at Assiniboine Park. If you come to Assiniboine Park, to our playground, you will see there are two ways for children to get into that space that no adult can get down. And that idea came from kids. So this whole little institute, this whole little workshop, time together, is all about how can we take our understandings of kids and observations and have it influence our environment. Now, to get you ready, I'd like you to draw upon your beautiful document, How Learning Happens. And there's some choice questions in there I want you to think about before you arrive on June 24th. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to read some of them out to you. How can your program place more emphasis on the mind, body, and senses in the outdoors? All right, so how do we design space that are going to allow the kid to think, to be physical, but to also experience in a different way through their senses? If we truly believe, second question, if we truly believe in a strong image of child in which kids are strong, capable, competent, how do we use that image of child in our environment? How's it reflected? How's it manifested? Can you look around your space and go, I have this here because I believe kids are... Insert. Next question. How can we offer greater complexity, greater challenge in the environment for kids based upon what we know that they're theorizing around or coming up with strange ideas that they're playing with? Think about your space. What is currently drawing in the kids into your space and why? And then think about the flip of that. What's not drawing them in and why? I just gave an example of using kids' ideas to design space. So I'm going to ask you the same thing, and I want you to think about the same thing. Is how can kids be involved in designing, evolving the space that you have right now? And how can you use observation and your reflections to create more complexity and challenge in their experiences? And then the last question for you to think about. How many ways can kids express themselves in that environment? All right, so think about those questions. Get your head around it. Dust off your old How Learning Happens document. And then when you arrive, you're going to be involved in an experience where you're going to look at documentation. You're going to look at observations of kids in play. You're going to be given a station. And you're going to develop the space based upon your reflections of that play. And then you're going to move on to another station and add some new elements to that space. And you're going to think about space. And we're all going to collaborate with each other. We're all going to be looking at these little learning stories, these little observations, and using them as a guide to design space. You're going to use loose parts. You're going to change the environment, all based upon your reflections of kids in play. We're going to discover that when we spend some time collaborating with each other, throwing around ideas about what kids are doing in space, and using that as a guide to design space, we are going to create the most meaningful, most engaging environments for children. Because, my friends, that's what this is all about. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on June 24th, and we are going to have ourselves a real good time.